Who said hosting isn't sexy? Tonight we're talking about hosting and hosiery. Intrigued, right? So stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to episode 67 of Soho Insights, brought to you by Parallels, the company behind the Plus Control Panel, the control panel you need to use if you host your website anywhere as a small office, home office business. All of our web hosting clients do. And Ovali. At Ovali, we sell hosting. From that point of view, we are a little like GoDaddy, except that Ovali is owned by women and run by women. We offer you the same services we use to build our own business. Nothing more, nothing less. That way we know we're providing you with services that work. At Ovali, we simply want to help you create something for you. Hello, I'm Kathy.
And I'm Jen, and you're watching Soho Insights. Like she said, episode 67. Soho stands for small office, home office. And so we talk about things that have to do around the woman, the man, whoever it is that is building their business from their home. And I apologize today. I am sick.
She's getting us all sick tonight.
No, it's my son's fault. It's my son's fault. So
He's on antibiotics, though. You're not.
Yeah, like working, like any working mother, my son got sick. He goes to school, aka daycare.
And then here we go. It goes through the family.
So yeah, it goes through our family then. So anyway, tonight we're talking, like I said in the intro, about hosting and hosiery. Now, it's funny because we go to a lot of women's events, and the majority of our clients are women, and that's not just because we say we'll only take women or no men. It's just kind of we're women.
We're women that target women because we're around women.
I mean, we target women because we are women.
Yes, but let's explain. We're women. Anyways, we don't just, men are welcome too. We have lots of male clients. Wonderful ones, I might add.
Getting back to what I was saying, though, we go to these women events, like the Total Networking that we sponsored, or we've done things with Crave before, and Power Chicks, and we go to them primarily because we're women and we like to hang out with other women and have cocktails and do girly things.
How many more times can we say the women thing?
Okay, so anyway, they've talked to us numerous times about saying, oh, I wish, you could come, what could we have you speak on, or what could we have you blog or share about in our community? And their comment, and this is funny because I think everyone says this, they use the exact phrase, like sexy. They form it around that.
Yeah, what?
How hosting isn't sexy?
Yeah,
how can we spin this?
You're boring.
Yeah, and it's funny because if your business is in tech, but it doesn't revolve around social media, Twitter, Google Plus, or whatever,
the main things, the meat
right
and
now,
potato stuff,
they don't think it's worth talking about. Yeah. So this episode, we're trying to make it a little spicy for you.
A little spicy, but also this is what, when we go to those networking things, people say, okay, so what is it you do again? So we are actually going to say what we do tonight.
What we do, and just clear the air about some things. We're going to talk about some myths that are going around out there, things people come up to us and talk to us about.
Yeah, a lot of phone calls for those.
We're going to be talking about a few do's and don'ts of web hosting, which we had this really long list, and we ended up cutting it down because it was just, we'll have to tell you later about it.
Yeah, we'll do blogs.
And then finally, we're answering all of your most asked questions at the very end, and they're really good. They're really good questions. They're the ones that we get asked every day, every hour, kind of a thing. So anyway, before we get started, we have a couple things to share with you.
First,
tomorrow.
I want to say happy birthday to my sister.
Oh, happy birthday,
yes.
Carrie!
It's a big one for her today. So
I sound like an old lady. Anyway,
no,
tomorrow.
No, it's today.
Well, yes, her birthday is today.
Yes. What
tomorrow,
are you saying tomorrow?
You're doing a show with Carissa.
Oh, yeah. Small businesses do it better on Tuesday. We're having so much fun. Tomorrow it's with Alicia Williams with Clothesline. and it should be really fun and showing people how you get involved with charities and things like that.
Yeah, and last week they did I sit at home and I watch it every Tuesday too, and last week they did an episode with Kirsten Helly, and she's a chef, a personal chef, Mason
Oh my gosh,
DeVita.
yes. Let's talk about her.
It was a really, really good episode, and we highly recommend you guys watching it because she talks a little bit about DIY videos and a few other things about building her small business. Plus, her story is just crazy cool.
Yeah, her story is very good. But we started using her menus over the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. In fact, the producer can even say that tonight's meal was really good.
What was tonight's meal?
That was the pork with apricot sauce.
Oh, I saw she uses a lot of apricot sauce. It's very interesting.
I have to say, the best.
I did the vegetable jambalaya.
Oh, was that
tonight. It was good. Yeah, Shane was really impressed with it because it's all healthy, really whole foods, but they're kind of sneaky, meaty, like robust stuff. That
Very
men
robust. Like. Yeah, robust. It was really good, and hearty meals. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, thank you. And
you can find that over at ovali.tv.
And beautifully done, too, when she sends them, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got one more big announcement. Well, I don't know how big it is, but it's exciting.
What is
Next
it?
week, we're running a camp. I don't know if we actually talked to you about this. It's Carissa and I that are scheming. So next week, if you watch our show, Soho Insights, we're over on iTunes, we're on Blip TV, and on YouTube, as well as being on live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 Eastern. Sorry, guys, that are out on the East Coast, but I'm sure you're all awake anyway if you're a business owner at 10. Anyway, we're on the live stream, and then, of course, we have all of them at ovali.tv. But on iTunes, this is where Soho Insights started, was on iTunes. And so what we're doing next week is for anyone that watches the show, we're going to do a campaign to ask you to give us a rating on iTunes next week. So we're just letting you know that this is something that we're going to be pushing next week.
Hopefully it's a thumbs up rating, right?
Well, and let me pull it up because it's on, if you go to bit.ly, bit.ly / Soho Insights, you can find our podcast. I'm pulling it up right now. You can find our podcast on iTunes. And so most of you have iTunes on your computer, whether you're a Windows or Mac person, and they make it really easy to rate it. You can open it up in iTunes and then basically just click a 4 or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star rating,
just
whatever
4 or
you
5,
like.
please.
And you can also give us feedback there saying, hey, I want more episodes about this. I want more episodes about that. Hey, I would love to be a guest on your show, that kind of a thing.
Please.
So anyway, our big campaign starts next week. So we won't talk any more about it this week. Carissa will say something on the Small Businesses Do It Better program tomorrow night, though.
Sounds good.
So anyway, getting into, this is really bugging me.
What?
This little stringy thing.
Well, don't touch it.
So anyway, getting into our program, hosting and hosiery. So you might wonder why we decided to do hosting and hosiery. Again, we're making it sexy for you. We're making it intriguing and fun, right?
Yes. Okay. And there's the first picture.
We're gonna
This
start
is
off.
sexy, right?
No.
Okay, that's not the sexy
Well,
one.
it
I
all
think
is,
it's pretty.
okay? It's
Yeah.
exciting and fun.
All right.
So, social media is the accessories. This is our big analogy of what web hosting is.
Yeah, I
people.
think you need to say, okay, so this
and why
is
you need to pay attention to it, okay? So we're talking about what web hosting is and why it's important for your small business.
and we're using visuals
get it.
to
Right.
to start
exactly.
it off. Okay.
So social media is accessories. It's the frilly, it's the fun, it's the makeup, it's the products that we collect. You're a Birchbox person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mom's used it. Birchbox.com, if any of you haven't heard about it. It's a box that comes with samples. People go nuts over these things. They make YouTube videos about it. They're flashy, fun, and it's just all the rage. So that equals accessories equal social media.
I see. So when our clients talk about hosting, we don't get that. What are they gonna?
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Okay, so design. Design equals clothes, right? So your web design, this is another thing. People either go crazy over
Do we have a
over
visual
social
for
media.
this?
I feel like social media is the first point, and the second point is design. It's the same lady because she's wearing clothes too.
Let's hope she's wearing clothes. Okay.
So the design of the website is clothing, right? So it shows off our personality. It frames our body nice. Well, nice or not, whatever. But that's what design is. So social media is accessories, the things we bling out and that get us noticed. Design is the clothes that show off our personality. Development is when you put all of those things together, right? So the development, someone that works on the code behind your website, whether it's a template, a theme like in WordPress or not. That is when you have like a stylist or the good sense of how to make everything work, right? Accessories plus clothing put together plus your makeup and your hair and everything equals the development, right?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Terrific.
So that's another piece that's gotten sexier in talks now. You'll go to things and they'll talk about WordPress versus Drupal versus Joomla. So I think that's pretty exciting, right? Well, it is. I'm not kidding. As women, that's what we kind of talk about.
Drupal,
WordPress
Joomla,
for sure.
WordPress, yes, WordPress and templates.
Yeah. So anyway, it's the same
one.
thing. So what people are thinking is sexy right now. Let's go over it one more time. Social media is accessories, design is clothes, and putting it all together, having the sense of style is development. And then finally, the thing that goes overlooked the most at events by people who are speaking, especially by small business owners, is hosting. And in the same sense, we as women, I did a brief stint at Victoria's Secret in college, back when they played classical music in the store.
What do they play now?
They play like Broadway music now.
Okay.
But anyway, and they stressed to us that lingerie is the base for your entire outfit, for everything. If you wear the wrong lingerie, your entire outfit is thrown off course.
So if you have the wrong hosting, other than Ovali, you're off.
Yeah. But it's seriously true, you guys. Lingerie, the right lines and everything makes an outfit. If you wear something with pleats in it that your dress doesn't match the pleats, you're done for. If you're wearing a black bra over a nude shirt, you look tacky.
This is hilarious.
It's pulling but see, this is illustrating. Okay. I think it illustrates pretty nicely why you need to pay attention to hosting.
All I'm going to say is if you don't have hosting, which means I guess in your terms, no lingerie. No
underwear.
You don't have a website, which means you don't have clothes.
Right. Yes. But you could still wear... No, you could still wear clothes, I guess, but you would just be on somebody else's.
I love it. This will be fun. Okay. It is going to be, I think...
Don't you want me to come give this talk to your group?
I think Derek, one of our clients, of course, he saw the visual of the legs that you put on Facebook. Yeah. So he said, hey, risque. Yeah. So this is going to be risque.
Yeah. So to a point. Come on, it's hosiery. For goodness sakes. So
the talk.
So anyway, to go back to it, if your hosting's down, if it's not working properly, you're not gonna. If you do any type of tweets or Facebooking or anything like that, it's gonna be leaning back to avoid. I mean, black space. It's not gonna be up, and it's gonna make you look bad.
I will say that the two of us, if you don't have us,
Well, this episode is not supposed to be totally selling Ovali 100%. We really are supposed to be educating you, but Mom sometimes gets frustrated and says, "Why don't you host with us?"
Yes, hello.
So anyway, the last piece.
Let's move on.
Okay, so anyway, the moral of the story is to just, if you care about not wearing black underwear over a nude top, then you should worry about where you're hosting.
Okay, so if the men are going to watch this,
I don't know about men
analogy.
Stuff.
Okay,
I don't want to go there. Sorry, guys.
Okay, so they can have the visual anyways of the other
stuff.
So
anyway, we wanted to go into now some different points, and the first point being myths. But before we get into the myths of hosting, we've got 3 of them, and they're really good. We wanted to go over our control panel provider, which also sponsors Soho Insights. And this fits in really nicely because we're talking about hosting and hosiery.
I'm going to tell them to watch this.
Whatever. So anyway, we wanted to tell you a little bit about them and why you should care about them too. So Parallels provides Ovali with the control panel that was made for small businesses that don't necessarily have the budget to rely on a design or marketing team to help them set up email addresses, manage hosted applications like their CRM, or even do some simple website maintenance. The team at Parallels really cares about the end user and takes the time to research products and applications that every small business owner needs. The control panel is easy to navigate. Web Presence Builder, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, is fantastic. It's seriously the coolest thing ever. And then, of course, WordPress is a nice one-button install click. It should be easy for all small business owners to be able to launch their own websites and emails, and Parallels Plus Control Panel makes that possible. So head on over to ovali.tv/parallels to find out how Parallels is making the lives of small business owners that much easier.
Thank you, Parallels.
Yeah, thank you so much. And just on this note for hosting, okay, let's see. How can I add this in? If hosting is your lingerie, then a control panel is...
Yeah, you got to be careful with this one.
What do you think I'm talking about? The control panel?
Your closet.
Your closet.
The control panel is your closet.
Thank you, producer.
Very nice. So the control panel helps you set things up, right? Helps you organize things. It's the piece that
That's good.
lays everything else out nicely.
Mm-hmm. All right. I like that.
So
Let's go
we're getting
forward.
into the myths of hosting. We've got 3. The first one
There's
is...
a lot more than 3.
Well, I know
We're
there's
just
3, but this is,
condensing.
I think, the last 2 months or so, these ones are the ones that people have asked us most about. Or they don't ask, they just come up to us and say, this is it. This is what I read. This is what my designer told me. This is how it goes.
If you'll notice on ovali.com, we do not have unlimited on anything.
Right. So the first myth is unlimited space. So when you go to any huge hosting provider, small hosting provider, the chances are that they'll have 3 columns and list numbers down it is pretty high, right? That's kind of a standard thing in our industry.
Yes, we
And
have one.
for bandwidth, that's a big one. People are looking at 250 megabytes, 1 gigabyte, 10 gigabytes, and unlimited. And they think, well, why don't I just get unlimited then? And they often call us and ask, which one should I choose, or why do you guys charge this much for plenty of? Because that's the wording that we use, and it's all marketing speak, really, because there's no such thing as unlimited shared hosting, right?
Hence, shared. Shared is the main word.
Right.
Unlimited shared hosting. It just doesn't make sense.
So going back into the idea. All right, I'm not going to talk about lingerie too much more, but the lingerie piece is actually a machine, right? That's what shared hosting is. Machine, just like your desktop computer. And you sit on this shared machine with other small business hosting clients, but depending on where you're hosting, that machine might be shared with spammers, crazy people, whatever that might harm your website. So it depends on where you're going. So anyway,
she's on a roll tonight.
what? I don't think that was bad at all. So anyway, you're on this machine, and
You're scaring me.
okay, you're on this machine. I don't want to scare you, but come on, it's serious.
Okay.
So you're on this machine with everybody, and if some spammer sends out a million different links and, trolls their bot down your blogs, those comments that all of you guys get and people click through them, those are big spikes up, right? And could potentially take down that machine. So when a web host says, we're going to give you an unlimited bandwidth, that might be true, but if you read their terms and conditions, it'll say specifically somewhere in there that you can only use a quarter, sometimes 25%, 4%. It has different percentages of CPU. Now, the CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, which is that machine. It's the piece that makes everything run, right? And so one person can't be using more than this, otherwise they'll shut your account down. Otherwise, the rest of those people that are sharing that machine with you are in danger of being shut down too.
And those people that are shut down, they come to us.
So that's just, and
happening.
It might be unlimited bandwidth, but know that there's always a price with that. So after you go to shared hosting, there's other things that if you need that ability to grow and to be more fluid, there's a few forms of cloud hosting.
We're not going to overwhelm though, because people get overwhelmed with hosting too. It's like,
Okay,
I can't take
I'll go
too
back
much of
and
this.
I'll talk about that, but it's infrastructure as a service.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that later, maybe on the ovaleye.com blog. But basically know that if you're worried about those big spikes and you think you're going to use 10 gigabytes of space on one day and none the next day, stuff like that, then we'll talk about that maybe over on the ovaleye.com
I think so.
blog.
I think we'll go on to solar powered is the next myth. Go ahead and start
Have
this.
you had clients ask you about that?
All the time.
Yeah. So, I think it was a few weeks ago, somebody asked us about this company. No, it had to be a few months ago. They emailed me and asked something about the company that they're looking at and saying, how are you different from this company? They're green. What green things do you bring into it? Well, no, I mean, you can be consciously green. Some companies, okay, here's the thing. It's a myth that some companies are green in the sense that you think they're green, but there are some legitimate companies that are run off of solar power. But for the majority of companies that say that they're green, you have to look into it a little bit further and look at why they're saying they're green. And for some people, you might still consider them green, whereas others may not.
Well,
and
why'd you say solar powered
because
specifically?
Those people are green, right? They're using energy from the sun. Now, other people, hosting, it's like the Matrix kind of a thing when you go into a data center. It's just so much energy. And a lot of data centers now are getting greener and greener by recycling air. There's a whole lot of cooling and heating processes that go in on it, and they've figured out a lot of ways to be greener. A lot of machines are getting greener. We specifically use a company that builds our servers for us, that makes them run more efficiently, and also we ship them from Bothell over to Seattle, which makes us look pretty green for our data center, because there's a lot less movement and traveling that goes with that. But basically, I'm gonna cough, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways, just check your resources when you are searching for a hosting company that you want green.
The reason why they say they're green is because they're carbon neutral. So for every footprint that they leave, they plant a tree, kind of a thing. And for some people don't think that that's really green.
Okay, well,
it's misleading, I think.
All right. So the next one is this one. This one is brought up all the time to us because two women sitting here, and family-owned business, small. They think small hosts. They think basement. They think, one server humming in the background. Well, the myths, you just have to check it out a little bit more, because how would people find out exactly? You just have to do a little research.
Yeah, so the myth here is that small hosts are less reliable. Now, I think it's all relative, because you could be a small host and do a really crummy job. You could be some guy, like you were saying, that has a server in his basement. It's just a one guy thing. And so if he passes away,
we got clients through that too.
Yeah, so anyway, there's that type of small host, and then there's a small host that takes what they're doing seriously and is just on a path of growth. And then, I mean, the same can be said about a very large company. One person could have a fantastic experience with that large company.
There was no way they started large.
Small, but I'm saying that size does not matter as far as reliability goes in many cases. Because that's not the deciding factor. I mean, again, there's so many different factors. There's the server, who you're neighbors with. If you host with one big company and you never had an issue with them, but your best business bud has had so many issues with them, you're on different servers, you might be in different departments, all sorts of crazy stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into whether or not a host is reliable, and size is not always a good factor.
All right, so next.
So those are our 3 myths.
Good.
So now we're talking about do's and don'ts. And this, when you get mom started on this, it's hard to make her be quiet.
I'll be careful.
So the first do that we wanted to list is to shop around.
Why would I get upset about that?
Well, that was it. I'm not saying that you get upset about them. You just like to talk about the do's and don'ts a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well,
the shopping around, you just have to see what fits your business.
Yeah, but see, the key here is that she said you have to do it and if it's your business. A lot of the times we'll have clients that their designer
yes,
recommended something to
I
them.
see where you're going. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of the designers, and I've talked to many in just the past week, where they take that responsibility for their clients. They find the host for their clients, and not sure if that's the correct way to do it. I mean, it's a very nice service that they offer, but you should also be a part of this, because when that designer leaves, you have no, you know,
it's just like outsourcing. It's just like outsourcing your bookkeeping to someone. You should have a general idea of what a bank account looks like and all that stuff, and have the root access to your banking.
It's the most, I will go. But it's the most important thing that a business owner or even a blogger that is really high up and getting a lot of traffic, and if your site goes down...
I'm stopping you because the next one is...
All right.
So is to let your designer lock you into your hosting.
What's the next one?
By that I mean don't let the designer... You've been hosting with them for a while. A lot of designers will get... affiliate, and we offer affiliate commissions, and a lot of our designers recommend our...
Just know what they are picking for you.
And a lot of our designers, though, to be fair, will recommend Ovali, but we like to work directly with the client, and so it is important to us that the client knows who we are and what we're providing them.
Yes.
So the last piece, which you were kind of talking about, is to have your login and password for the control panel.
Because when the designer or developer leaves, and you might not see them for a year, but you need to do something either with your email or your website. There's a lot of things in that control panel that you could be using. So make sure you have the control panel login and password and anything else that has to do with your hosting.
I mean, that counts for domain names.
Yes.
Also, I mean, we could go on and on about this, but the moral of the story is...
You be in charge.
Yeah, to be your own advocate is what you usually say.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So that one is probably my most important point of this night.
So the next piece. We got done with those ones a long time ago. Oh, nuts. You know what? Since we're kind of running out of time, let's quickly go over some resources. Because I listed a few resources.
We didn't. You put up these legs on the screen and you didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I did. Okay. It's a lingerie. They're hosting.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done with that one. Move on to the resources.
That one?
Yep, done with that one. Yep, done. We just did that one. We're getting into your questions answered, but before we do that, really fast, we've got just 3 or 4 resources that you should show. The first one, of course, is Ovali.com, where we sell hosting and sponsoring the show. Then Ovali TV, we talk about shows. A lot of our shows focus around small office, home office stuff.
We didn't say that we're doing a new website today, too. But we're going to keep going.
All right, so the next one is the Whir.
No, that's...
Or Pingzine, whatever.
The Whir.
Both of them are much more industry-focused. So if you're a designer or developer and you just want to know a little bit more about what you're offering your clients, we recommend checking out those two resources. Okay, so getting into really fast your questions answered. What is FTP is one that we get a lot. And that's when clients, especially the ones that are doing a DIY WordPress solution, FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. And one of the most... flashiest, I guess, or most widely used as far as our clients go, FTP client. So it's kind of like your email client, like an Outlook or something like that, but it's FTP client. It's FileZilla, and I actually have it up here on the screen. Let me move this. Yeah, you can see that it's available on the Mac and on Windows too, and it's pretty bare bones. It's really easy to use and pretty efficient.
It seems to be the easiest one for people.
Yeah. So the next question is, should I go with WordPress?
Sorry.
So the next one is, should I go with WordPress, Joomla, or Drupal, or even Web Presence Builder?
Have you ever heard of those? And if you have, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have heard of WordPress especially, and people come to us saying, I need to use WordPress.
That's our number one piece. Actually, Web Presence Builder, our template, is number 2 now.
Yeah, so WordPress versus Joomla or Drupal is really nice as far as themes go, there's a lot more themes, a lot more support out there than the other two for if you're DIY and if you're a small home office business.
You just have to get a good designer and developer for Joomla.
Now, whether or not you should use Web Presence Builder, so Web Presence Builder now has a few blogging pieces to it too, which is really nice. Oh, and I'll have it up on ovaleye.tv. We have a demo, so if you build this, it's up on my browser. If you build a website on this, don't expect to publish it this instant. But if you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/w Web Presence Builder WPB try, and I'll have the link over at ovaleye.tv tomorrow. You can actually try out our Web Presence Builder, and you can see that it's really easy to create a site and to drag and drop things. And so this is for the really 101 type small business owner, and this is perfect for you guys.
It fast.
Yeah,
fast,
if you want it fast.
easy.
This is perfect if you have a website that was nicely designed and you have some marketing materials that you want to disperse like on an event. See, it's really easy to customize it and just drag and drop different modules.
Actually, our small business do it better website is on that.
So that's one question. We have 2 more questions. I like to use Gmail. Can I get my email there? So if you are hosting with someone and you use yourdomain.com and you want to use Gmail as your email client, a lot of clients ask if they can do that.
Go ahead and answer that one.
Yes, you can. There's 2 kind of email protocols. There's POP and there's IMAP, and the majority of our clients will recommend using IMAP for, so Outlook, whether you use Outlook, iMail on your iPhone, etc. But then there's also an exchange-based service that we offer, which is Open Exchange, and that's a whole other type of email, but that one's really fantastic, which brings us into our last question. If you use Open Exchange, but you have a Gmail and a Yahoo account, how can I bring those email addresses into it?
Yes.
And again, yes, it's an email client, and I have an example of my Open Exchange. So here you can see I have a few other email addresses, and it brings in the structure and everything like that, so I can send from these other inboxes too. And as you can see here, I have some of my social media pieces, so I can manage Facebook and my Twitter from Open Exchange.
We will be doing a show on Open Exchange because it's helped our business so much.
Yeah, so we ran out of time.
We ran out of time. If you have any questions about hosting, or if we didn't answer it tonight with our lingerie, please give us a call or chat or email, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, but the biggest thing here is that we hope we drilled home for you is to care about your web hosting and not to leave it up to a third party.
That would be best.
Yeah. So anyway, ovaleye.tv will be able to find out all about all of our future episodes, our past episodes. Next week, make sure that you go over to iTunes and review our episodes, but otherwise.
We made it through without you coughing too much, too. So this is Kathy and Jen, and tune in for Small Businesses Do It Better if you have a chance tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Until next week, this is Kathy and Jen again, as I say it. That's it.